Welcome back to That's Rank podcast, where we rank listener ideas on the fly. I'm Taryn.
And I'm Rob.
And I am Liam. Welcome back to another episode, everybody. Welcome back to YouTube, audio listeners. Welcome. Now, let's discuss this. We've been doing this for a little while now. We're coming up to episode 100. And people are thinking to ourselves, why? Why do we do this ranking podcast that we do? We have a lot of fun with it, but what's the whole reason? Rob, why do we do this? What's the reason we do this?
Well, then, what is ranking? Why do people rank? It's because they love to come together with their friends and to debate and to share and to laugh and to have some bants.
Oh, yeah.
The things we love and maybe sometimes the things we hate. And that is what ranking does. That is ranking in a nutshell.
Yeah. And do you know what? There's so many people online at the moment who do ranking like content, but it's all banal. It's all boring. It's all the regular stuff. Like, who's the best basketball player? Who cares?
Who cares?
We get your ideas, the listeners' ideas, and we'll rank absolutely anything.
That's right.
Anything. You tell us. We put it on this wheel behind me. Here it is. We spin it, which we'll do in a second, and then on the fly, no preparation whatsoever. And I think that is fantastic.
What have you got in front of the wheel there, buddy?
Okay. Oh, I've got my little set dressings. So I've got a little I've got a German Stein over here that I got at Oktoberfest, and I have it's hard to do when I'm not looking at it. And this is my little sake barrel that I got when I was in Japan recently.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was the Liam show.
Nice.
As you were, continue.
And is the wheel now on a shelf? Just for those listening at home. So if you have to go to the YouTube channel, which we now have, in order to see the detail in which we're referring to, because Liam's room is looking lovely, as does Liam, as does Taryn and her room. But yeah, have you raised the wheel? The wheel's now on a shelf.
I have raised the wheel, so I've made some aesthetic changes to my bedroom,
nice.
which is also my studio. Big money, and so it's really simple. It's a really simple trick. I lifted it and put it the other way, and now this is up here at my eye level. So yeah, it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Nice picture on the wall as well. It's like sumo gathering.
Yeah. Also Japan. I've just got trinkets from my travels all around my lovely room.
Amazing.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
That's pretty good, man.
They're everywhere. But no, like we have to get ideas from our listeners, right? And Taryn, where can people give us ideas to throw out to us?
Straight to us, directly down the line. They can drop into our social channels. So we're at thatsrankpod at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're on the YouTubes now as well, and you can slide into our email inbox as well with thatsrankpod at gmail.com. So jump on it. We love to hear, especially if you respond to stories or Instagram posts, that sort of thing. We're directly checking the channels all the time. So drop a line. If we don't like it, we'll ignore you. But if you do like it, we'll add it to the list and we'll keep going.
And if you use the voice recording feature on Instagram, record us a little voice memo, and then we'll try to chuck it up here on the podcast and play your voice alongside our voice.
We'll get you on here.
We'll get you on here. Doing that. That's fun.
Very often we are wrong because it's on the fly. We have no preparation time, so we need to know if we're wrong. We love to know that we're wrong. I mean, you guys.
I tell you when you're wrong, but you stop listening to me, Liam.
You become desensitized to things sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, it's too much. It's too much. But no, we do need your ideas. We do know. Now, the rank though. This is what we're here for. We know why we do it now. We're having fun. You talk to your friends at the pub, you'd be like, oh, these guys do a ranking podcast. Guess what? In 2 minutes flat, you guys will be ranking something. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
We all do it. But how do we... It is. It really is. But how do we do it? What's our je ne sais quoi, Taryn? What do we do?
Well, I feel like I'm really running this one today. This is exciting.
No, we're all together. Let's do it as a team.
We get 5 minutes each to rank the topic.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. And then, get your voice ready. And then we battle to...
then death.
Oh, that was shivers. Literal chills. Literal chills. Literal chills.
We do. 5 minutes each, eh? Sometimes a long time, sometimes not so long, depending on how confident we are. It all depends on what this wheel back here has to say.
Yep. And it can get pretty feisty, which is pretty fun.
I like it when we get feisty. I'm not going to lie. Now,
That's the best
I'm going to spin the wheel now. I'm trying to figure out which way my headphones are going to go.
Don't you hate that when you walk away from your laptop and your headphones just yank you back into last Tuesday?
Oh, it's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. Okay, that's better.
That's better.
Here we go.
Ow! Oh, how's that sound?
It's pretty good.
Good spin, Liam.
Thanks, man. All right. Number 13.
Oh,
13.
lucky
for
13.
some. Oh, there we go. Snaps. All right. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Our listener, Jeremy, has given us a very cool idea, I think. Very cool
Ooh,
idea. Number 13. What is the best language?
language. So,
What is
can we
the...
pause there for a second? Who is Jeremy? Do we know him? Is he a mate? Is he a listener? Where is he
Jeremy's the
from?
listener. He's a listener. I have no idea who Jeremy is. I have no idea. He's just given us an idea.
Oh, rogue listener, potentially from Perth, potentially out there.
We don't know. We've
Hi,
got
Jeremy.
international audiences. They could be
How you
absolutely anywhere. Thank you, Jeremy. We appreciate you.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
do.
But this is what we need. Be like Jeremy. Give us
Be
a
like
like
Jeremy. Oh, I
Spread the
can't
word.
wait. This is a good topic. I like
It-
this. I love languages.
It is a good topic. It is a good topic. What are your thoughts on language, Rob? Do you like
I
language?
love languages. Yeah, languages is good. Language is a passport to the world, Liam. It opens up so many different layers on a country and a place, and connection is when you share a language. I personally do not share another language other than English, but I've teetered on the edge in certain circumstances of some very, very basic language speaking abilities.
Just dabbled.
And I've looked on with envy at people who do dedicate themselves to become fluent, because I really think it's like, you can visit a place and you can move around and you can speak to the people that share your language, but to actually speak it, I think opens up. It's like peeling. It's like the layers of an onion. Like you just go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and you can't access that unless you speak said language. So it's a very powerful tool, and I love hearing people speak other languages. Like, isn't it something kind of amazing and romantic and just like kind of beautiful when you hear like different languages of the world being spoken?
That is,
It's true.
It's very true. But as soon as you said that, I just pictured someone. So I was walking past a bus stop once, and someone was absolutely like having a go at another person speaking the same language. They were just screaming at each other. And I turned around expecting like a fight or something to be breaking out, and they were laughing.
Oh yeah.
So they were just like absolutely like just screaming, top of their lungs, like aggressive sounding noises, and it was just like mates getting together.
Do you know what?
So when you say romantic,
it was probably the Croats. As a half Croat myself, and growing up going to the North Fremantle Croatian Club a lot when I was a young man, and even as an adult, I used to love going to the little bar area there, and there'd be like gents playing cards, slamming cards on the table, yelling at each other, and having the best time.
Yeah,
it was so confusing.
Not quite romantic. Wouldn't want that in a romantic sense, but very, very
well. Taryn,
not quite.
Don't yuck people's yum. Don't yuck people's yum. Some people might like that.
I'm not saying that then that's bad if they were like that in romantic. I'm just saying on the streets. But yeah, that was interesting.
But there's something about like the different contexts. Like, see, we've all recently been to Japan, and you walk at Japan, you look at the neon lights of Tokyo, and you go, "Wow, that is beautiful." But to a Japanese reader, it says advertising.
It just says, it just says,
like, "Whoa, look at these neon lights! This place is crazy."
That's true.
I'm in Blade Runner, but then it's like, "Oh, look, that's just it's."
It just says ramen.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Tasty ramen. Not quite the same.
Yeah.
So I love the different contexts. Yep.
Yeah.
Context.
It's true, and I think it's a massive thing that I try to do when I go to any country that I go to, is like at least learn the basics of that language, because there's nothing worse than going to a country and just expecting them to understand English. You look a little bit arrogant, you know what I mean? Like there are some countries you can go to where it's just fine, but if you're going to even Bali, Bali's such an Australian kind of, it's like it's like North Broome.
If you speak louder and slower in English, Liam, they understand what you're trying to say. Does that not work?
Don't you love seeing people do that though, and just get louder?
Patronizing as hell. But I agree. I don't think you need to put pressure on yourself to learn the language, but like little things like please, thank you, hello, can you help?
Yeah.
Do you know the biggest one for me, I think that always helps, is do you speak English, but in that language?
Yeah.
Because at least it shows you've made an attempt to get to a
learn.
conversational
100%.
point.
Yeah. You learn
Yeah.
the pleasantries, and you at least try a
Yeah.
little bit, and you just do it with a smiley face. Like if you're doing it with a smiley face, and you're each stumbling over each other's words, like it's part of the fun.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I once
I
took a
agree.
train from Barcelona to Malaga, and I sat opposite this girl who did not speak a word of English, and I did not speak a word of Spanish, and we occupied each other for 11 hours.
Oh.
Like we were just floating around the train. Like it was this quite a funny little story. It was a little bit romantic, Taryn.
Oh, it sounds a bit.
Even though
It
it
sounds a
was
bit
like nothing,
romantic.
obviously we're sharing a train ride. Nothing actually kind of happened, but it was just like kind of a magical little thing where I just connected to a person with no shared language for about 11
Yeah.
hours. At the end, it was like, see you later. And she walked off, and
Yeah.
we had a real shared moment. It was really kind of a special little thing. And I
Aw.
That is
feel like,
nice.
and we didn't share a single word except for maybe, no, she knew open the door, close the window. That's what
Why would
she
you learn
knew.
that though? Why would you learn that?
That's what they taught her in school.
I'm gonna learn English. Open the door, close the window.
Maybe that's all she needed to know, because that's the only time she was on the train with people other than the ones she spoke her
Oh,
language with.
true, very
Maybe,
true.
maybe,
Good point, well
maybe.
made, Taryn. Good point, well made.
We're trying so hard not to offend anyone. I love that for us. Oh,
I
speaking of offense, or lack thereof, happy
was gonna say.
anti-homophobic day today.
Oh, it's anti-homophobic day.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that day. I must admit, there was a poster on the wall at work, and the acronym looks like "I'm a Hobbit" or something. And every time I walk past it, I was like, "What is this for?" But now I know it. But thanks to Taryn, I know what it is.
I didn't
Thank
even
you.
see anything about it at work today. I literally heard about it
Yeah.
because my
We,
housemate's partner was getting cake for it at their workplace.
oh, that's sweet.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
cool.
we have a really, really progressive workplace, which is nice. So we've got all the every time there's something, posters are up, everything's up,
Stunning.
everything, including like
Nice.
what's the Indian fest, Diwali,
Yeah, Diwali.
like even that, and bring it back to language. Like there's a whole, they bring in a contingent of our Indian staff, and they all get
Yeah.
together and they share language, they share food.
I
It's
was gonna say
fantastic.
food. Oh, love that for them.
Get it in my
Mm.
belly.
Hell yeah.
All
Oh my god,
right.
I'm kind of excited for this one. I've got an idea, but as we do sometimes, we go, and this is Henry, he's joining us for a moment.
Hey, Henry.
Ahoy! Do we get to go, as that was a little bit rogue, on this topic? What do you reckon?
Well, here's the thing. That's Rank Podcast. We don't have any real set rules. Because we're doing this on the fly. We get the topic, and if you want to interpret this in any capacity you want, Taryn, you go for it. You do it.
I think
See,
rogue is good. I think rogue is good. All right, go rogue. When in doubt, go rogue.
When in doubt, go rogue. That's right.
got
And sometimes those rogue ones are like, we're like, oh god damn, that's a good answer,
it.
and
Yeah.
they win the rank. How it works sometimes. Well, that said, I'll just set up my little cheeky timer. Does anyone have any want or desire to go first?
So you throw that question out to us, Liam. So let me throw it
I
back to you.
do.
Do you have a want or desire to
Yeah.
go first?
I can. It's been a while. It has been a little while since I've been first, so it probably does make sense.
Only if you feel like you want to, because I just because you're the maitre d'. I just realised you always throw that to me and Taryn, and we always look at each other like, who wants to go first? And it's like, well, then maybe you want to have a go. But if not, I'm happy to.
You've learnt my trick. So see if
How
you
to
guys
buy myself more time.
see if you guys want to go first.
It's a mixed bag. Because if you go
That's true.
first, you may be struggling for an idea. You may be under pressure. But if you go last, someone may steal your idea. So
It's
sometimes it's good to go first.
Man, you guys are valid point well made duo tonight. I love to see it. All right, I will go first.
Yay! No, he's
I'll
gonna
do it.
panic.
No, not me. I never panic. Let me just have.
Why are you sweating?
I'm sweating. It's called I'm glistening. Okay. All right. I'm my 5-minute timer up, and I'm going to start my timer now. Okay. So I know what you're thinking, right? I know what you're thinking. Here's Liam. He's just like Japanophile. He's going to say Japanese because that makes the most sense. Wrong. How I love Japanese, I really do. I think it is a beautiful language. I think it's one of the best languages, but that's bias. I'm going to go more global. I'm going to go a language that when I hear it, I want to learn it immediately. And I have tried to learn it before, and I didn't keep going because I was too infatuated with the other one that I was just talking about. We're not going to talk about that again. No, my favorite language the language I find the most beautiful has already been mentioned tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's Spanish.
Oh.
Spanish is the most beautiful language that I've ever heard. You know when you hear locals speak really quickly because they're really kind of fluent? I'm still working on the English side of things. I'll get there eventually. But yeah, I'm often
That made me think of the Spanish, age-old Spanish saying that we all know.
Yeah.
Why can't we have both? ¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué no los dos? I'm telling you, that's it. That's the whole. Thanks, Taryn. You've just
You can be
stolen the whole
kind of
reason for my
fluent
rank.
at the same time.
God. We speak really fast. Like I get accused of this all the time. When I get excited about something, passionate about something, I speak really fast. But English, exactly right. And people don't understand what I'm saying. When I hear Spanish people speak, they speak at the absolute rate of knots. Like it's unbelievable how fast it sounds to my ear. To them, it's probably just regular talking.
Yeah.
Like this probably sounds fast to a native Spanish speaker. But when I listen to it, I just get enthralled and I get drawn in to everything that they say. Like everything. I watch a Spanish movie or a movie from any other part of the world that uses Spanish. That's another good reason that Spanish is one of the best languages because it's probably I think it's the second most spoken language in the world after English, I believe, which is pretty cool. It's actually it's easy to learn. It sounds good. Like okay, I'll do it. I'll bring a little bit of Japanese back. I'll do a comparison, right? Let's say, for example, you're going to ask where the toilet is. Okay.
Yeah.
Japanese, you're like, sumimasen, doko ni arimasu ka? Toire wa doko ni arimasu ka? Meh, sounds all right. Donde está baño? Donde está baño?
Okay, but look how you're saying it.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I just spoke.
Some lingerie.
No, I just spoke Spanish. That's all I did. That's all I did. All I did was speak Spanish. Nothing else changed within my person.
You undressed that Spanish. You took that Spanish out for a wine and you gave it chocolate-coated strawberries after that.
Me puede ayudar, por favor.
There it is.
Do you know what that means?
I can't unsee it.
Can you help me, please? Look, listen. I'm telling you. And it's probably the one language that I use most in my just day-to-day conversation.
Really?
Like at work. Yeah, at work I call everyone amigo. I'd say it in a really Aussie twang. G'day, amigo. How's it going? No, I'm like, I say muchas gracias. I say like all that kind of. I say all of it. If someone's leaving, I say hasta mañana, which is like see you tomorrow. Like I have little bits of it that I put into.
I've never heard you speak Spanish. Like ever.
Well, no, but that's the thing though. That's the thing. Like we get to see each other on pod nights and like out and about every time. But like for my work peeps are my everyday peeps. I see these people more than my family.
True.
And so I tend to do
Liam's not known as Liam at work. He's known as Senora Courtney.
Senor Courtney. Me llamo Liam. Yeah. Hola mai wa Liam des. See, it's different. So Japanese is very it's structured. It's syllables like the Japanese are, whereas the Spanish language is very kind of free flowing, and it's like salsa. It's like samba. Like the language is just how they talk. You know what I mean? It's just like, and so it's just sexy. It is sexy. It's a sexy language.
It's a sexy language.
And it's when I went to America, I was in Los Angeles, and I loved seeing the split between. Like even the street signs there have the Spanish and the English translations. A lot of Spanish and lots of Spanish speaking people down there. I feel like I was in a different country. It was fantastic. Like not in America. No, I like America. I'm sorry, I like America. America's fine. But no, I've only got 15 seconds left. So I will say this. Highlights. The Spanish language, sexy, global, easy to learn. I think it's used in the vernacular more than any other language within English. And that's my time.
Great. So what I heard there was why Spanish is better than Japanese and English.
No, I didn't. I said why it's the best language. I did. I said it's global. I said all the things, Taryn. Okay. How dare you? Look at you go. Sorry. Look, you're getting feisty early. I like it. Right.
No, I'm just saying.
Right. I can't wait to see what you're going to do. All right. Miss Rogue over here, she's going to blow our fucking mind.
I'm still tossing up between what I'm doing, so just lower those expectations a lot.
You set them so high. You set them so high.
Good.
Gracias for that. Okay, so
Gracias, amigo. Mi amor.
that's the other thing I didn't mention, but my 5 minutes is up, so I can't do it.
Yeah, mention at the end in honorable mentions.
The
Rob?
integrity of the rank must reign supreme. Rob,
Must.
have you got something that you would like to share with the class?
Oh, I'm also toying a couple of ideas around. I can go if people would like me to go. Of Taryn, I mean, how are you feeling?
I've got one, and I've got two, but like I've got the one that I know I'm going to go with.
Okay. Do you want to go with that one?
You just want to see what the rogue idea is, don't you?
I just haven't actually made my mind up yet.
Should I get a coin?
I feel like he might steal my idea, though. I don't know. I feel like he might.
Okay, I'll go first then, just in case.
Oh, he played you like a fool. Then he played you like a fool. He was like,
I feel like
you might take mine. I'm going to take it. Oh, all right. So who am I starting my timer for?
Okay,
Taryn, you going to go?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to start your timer in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Okay. My language is one that is also universal.
I know what it is already. I know what it is.
What is it?
I've got it up here. If I'm right, I'm going to give a thumbs up.
I feel like I'm very predictable. Okay. Oh, now I'm nervous. I don't want to do it.
No. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. It's just us. It's just us here. No one else is watching this except for the millions of people on YouTube.
I think the best language in the world, because it can be spoken without words, is the love language.
Yeah, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Well, that's the reason why the other one was going to be my favorite language, because it's also spoken without words, but I'll give it an honorable mention at the end, and I will dive straight into why the love language is my number one. So to me, and this sounds like I'm trying to convince you that astrology really like helps you get through the day because it's real and legit, and like some people might believe that. I'm just saying. But in terms of love language, this is one of the things that I learned really early on when I started going to therapy, when I was like freshly broken up with, and I was like, don't understand why people do the things that they do.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why I feel the way I feel. And that we kind of work through like values, having your values challenged, how that makes you feel. But more importantly, we talked about interactions with other people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think I could have been any clearer. I literally used the words, I said it in English. Like, what other language could I have used for this person to understand how I felt about this thing?
Yeah.
And they were like, it's because you guys don't speak the same love language. And I was like,
Okay.
Like, ¿qué? And it makes a lot of sense. So if people don't know what love language is, it is the language with which you don't speak, you communicate with wordlessly. Obviously it can involve speaking,
Sure.
but it's the way that you communicate how you like to receive and give love, and how to make your partner or your friends, family, and yourself feel valued and feel loved. So something, I will actually probably have to Google them real quick, but I know that there is quality time, words of affirmation, gifts, physical touch, and there's one more.
Because people put this on their like Bumble profiles nowadays, don't they? It's like my love language is
acts of service.
Acts of service, yeah. So I think you think one thing is something that you value, that everyone sort of values, and as you're younger, like, you don't really understand that people have different values and different, you all grow up in a different house, to use that sort of metaphor. Like,
sure.
well, it's a fact, you all grew up in a different house. Your mum never made your cereal the same way that their mum did, so to speak. So why would everyone have the same love language? And everyone's got different levels of like feeling secure, insecure, what makes them feel valued and loved. So maybe you grew up in a household where physical touch was not a thing, and therefore that's not one of your love languages, or vice versa. That might be the one love language that you love to receive from a romantic partner for whatever reason, because it makes you feel the most loved and valued, that they've taken the time out to go there and like physically appreciate you. I think it's so interesting and it's so important, because it's not a language that someone can or can't speak when you first meet each other, speaking about romantic relationships, but also with friendships. So like with family members or friendships, so many things clash if you are not on the same page about how you make each other feel valued. And this could be, like you guys, I appreciate quality time over quantity. Not to say I don't want to like spend time with you. It's that I really value the time that we do spend together and making it highly useful and conducive, I suppose, to
Sure.
the time that we do have, right?
Yeah.
So I would say that receiving that value, like if we were to catch up and I don't know, sit in silence for a bit, I'd be like, this is not it for me. Even though some people might find that physical proximity better, if
Sure.
that makes sense.
I'm not sure if either Rob or I could sit in silence, to be honest with you. I think we'd be talking pretty quick.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's like a number one language because you can speak. Say you met someone who spoke complete like Spanish, like your train example, Rob. This is like if they don't speak your language, the reason that you guys made each other feel valued is because you were speaking some sort of love language that made you feel like you were
15
appreciated in that
seconds.
moment. Thank you. That you were appreciated in that moment and appreciating them. So I think it's invaluable because it can make and break relationships, romantic or not. And yeah, it's not necessarily spoken with words.
God damn it, Taryn.
Oh no, I really want to.
God damn it, Taryn.
That's all right.
That was a good one.
That was the one I was going to go, Taryn. So you did well. You did well to pit me there. But I actually had two. I had two, so I've got a backup plan. But that's language of love.
That was a good one. See, this is the thing. I'm such a cold-hearted motherfucker. I don't even think about emotions.
No, but yours was good as well. Like I think I'm struggling between the two that we've only just gone through, and we haven't even heard Rob's yet.
I know. I'm intrigued. Thank goodness he had two though, because
I mean, three. I've got three that I'm tossing around.
Sir.
I had two as well. I can't wait to mention mine.
Two.
I wonder if yours
I'm looking
is
forward to
gonna be
honorable mentions.
one of mine. All right.
Wow.
Hit us with it, Rob.
Good. Two good answers, Rob. I don't want to put this pressure on you, but pressure's on, my friend.
Okay. Well, let me take
wait a second.
One.
My clock isn't ready. Okay.
Get your clock out.
Get your clocks out for the boys. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Begin.
Okay, so I'm going to go a little abstract in the sense that I'm going to say it's the language of mathematics.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
So mathematics is a language. Mathematics is an art. It's often just referred to. We all get a bit burnt by math in school because we got forced to do trigonometry or discrete mathematics or whatever the one that you felt,
whichever one you were smart enough to do.
Could do. Yeah, whichever one you were smart enough to do, which for me was the lower one.
Me too.
And we think about it like formulas. When you think about like dictated learning, so we all have this negative kind of point of view about what mathematics is. But mathematics is a language that helps us understand the world. They've invented mathematics that communicate what light is. They've got mathematics which communicate what energy, what space and time actually is. And the language of mathematics has helped us through the generations since it was established at the dawn of civilization, which I have just Googled as the Pythagoreans.
Google, sir. Google on a rank.
Like mathematics is a language that is universal, that is spoken all across the world, and has helped human beings like develop and advance and innovate and come together and understand literally the entire world around us. Beyond that, it helps us understand galaxies, universes, energy, the way our brains work, the way our minds work. It's all translated and understandable through mathematics. And mathematics is the same. A Mandarin-speaking mathematician can share the language of mathematics with someone who does not speak Mandarin because they both share the language of mathematics. So it is truly a universal language. And look, I think I personally can't speak mathematics very well. But I know that for those that do, like what we were saying before about languages early on, like when you speak a language, it opens up the world around you. I think the ability to speak the language of mathematics opens up the world quite literally. It helps you like literally take the world around you and who you are and everything that's acting between itself and how it all works together. It helps you pull the mirror back, pull the curtains back, and actually kind of understand it and theorize about it. It leads to debate. It leads to new ideas. It leads to technological advancement, and it all comes down to mathematics. I was originally going to go binary. The ones and zeros, because binary is like the foundation of technology as we kind of experience it now.
I would have loved to have heard you speak about ones and zeros for 5 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, go on. The Matrix, right?
But I mean, I could because and for an infinite amount of ones and zeros, you can communicate anything, and you can create any system that is, no matter how complex it is just a bunch of ones and zeros. It is literally everything that we walk around and take for granted. It's all constructed by ones and zeros. But guess what? Where binary comes from? Binary comes through the language of mathematics. Because in mathematics, you give something a symbol, and through giving it that symbol, you enable it to construct a meaning by adding it to another symbol and putting it within a framework. And therefore, the world is understood. The world is almost created through a shared language of mathematics. And I think I'm going to leave it there.
What that you've got a minute and a half left. You're gonna stop there?
Have I got a minute and a half left?
Yeah, bro.
Do you know how you know that, Liam?
Because I have the clock in front of me.
And what is clock? What is a clock?
What is clock?
What is clock? Clock is time. Clock is time. Time. We understand time. Months.
Can I help you out from this bubbling real quick?
And years. Yeah.
I like that mathematics fits into other languages because, I mean, first of all, question for you: do you know what language mathematics was first communicated in?
Greek.
Yeah, Greek. Ancient Greek, I think.
Physically, yes, for sure.
Do you know?
What's the other version?
Non-verbal.
Neanderthals.
Non-verbal, yeah, correct. Yeah. Right? And so,
true.
It's a universal language that was then adapted into language, like as we know it, as Greek and, English, etc., etc. Yeah, and it can be, it is adapted across absolutely everything. Like, we use it every day. How many would you like? 2 of the, far out. 3 of those.
Are you sure? Do you need some more time, Taryn, to work out the numbers there?
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, I really like this topic. This is good. This is great.
This is fascinating.
Rob, you now have 15 seconds left. Would you like to wrap up?
Well, I liked it there. I think from the dawn of time, before people could speak, they could fundamentally do mathematics. They could calculate the number of bison they needed to capture, the number of people in their tribe. They brokered peace. They traded through the use of mathematics, like the beginnings of currency and science.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
And therefore,
I hate you both. I hate you both. Universe. I hate you both.
You know what came before maths? Love.
I hate you both. I thought my fucking Spanish answer was fucking good.
It was good, buddy.
God, it wasn't those two though, was it?
Do you know what I really wanted to, and it'll be an honorable mention if I'm able to jump into that.
Listen, those. I would just say this: those were 3 really good answers.
They were
really good answers. Unbelievable.
Well done, team.
Taryn,
I wanted to honorably mention sign language, but I didn't think I could speak to it because even though I've got a deaf member, well, he's not deaf, he's half deaf. He's got a deaf ear in my family. We didn't need to learn sign language because we were able to have access to hearing aids. But I always wondered how and why that would be such a good language to know. Like,
I tell you what. Yeah, I needed that today because we've got a deaf member of staff, and I was trying to teach him something, and I was trying to really slow down, and so he could read my lips, and it was clear he wasn't hearing me at all. So that would have been a really, really handy language. Does he use hearing aids? He does, but he's I don't think they are effective enough for him to hear.
Yeah,
like
so
regular conversation. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, Auslan's a really good one actually. I had this kind of crisis, and I was like, I'm gonna become an Auslan interpreter, and then I realized that you have to, it takes a long time to learn.
Yeah.
I put that idea to the side.
Too hard.
But it would. I think it would be really incredible. I'm fascinated by the fact that we've developed Auslan, and
Sorry, I was going to say, you should get onto TikTok because there's Auslan like teachers and interpreters on there, and you learn little phrases, like little things, like for me, one-handed things, so that you can because that's the thing. If my brother was fully deaf, how would I have been able to communicate with him? But just like any language, you can change and interpret things so they would know what you're intending to say without using the full word if you can't sign it with your whole hand, like both hands.
So that's a context thing, right? Because when you go, when Rob had his little rendezvous on the train, a lot of the cues are context. They're context based. If you don't understand the other language, it's all context.
Yeah. How your facial expressions are, friendly or not friendly. How your love language is coming across. Mayhaps.
Stop it, Taryn. Your 5 minutes is up.
But that was entirely a non-verbal language. Like, we were speaking a non-verbal language, mainly through humor. Through humor and a sense of adventure. we were just kind of just like playfully just laughing at the fact that we couldn't share the languages yet, and we were trying to find kind of a shared meaning. But it is crazy, isn't it? So Auslan Braille is another one, because Braille is a purely physical language. Like it's something that's just written and created, and then you share it that way. And look, I'm not a biblical person, and I'm not a person of faith in any way, shape, or form. But that one story that resonates with me from the Bible is the Tower of Babel, and I find that is actually the most interesting. You know how, because okay, no offense to anybody that has a faith. I respect all faiths, but like for me, I appreciate the fact that the Tower of Babel is like this, and some like, what am I saying without sounding like an idiot?
The Tower of Babel.
I should ask myself that question more often. The Tower of Babel is
what am I saying?
The Tower of Babel is, but it's an explanation for why human beings have different languages, right? That's kind of like that's not just through evolution happening in separate parts of the world.
Tower of Babel.
The Tower of Babel was that everyone used to have one shared language, and they came together to build a tower that was so big. It diminished the meaning of God, because the tower was like the you know how you're not supposed to build a statue of God or whatnot, and they're like, everyone's come together and they've built something that's more grandiose, that's more powerful than God itself. So the tower was then collapsed and shattered, and the pieces of the tower were so big they shattered everyone to different parts of the world, and then after that point it left everyone speaking a different language.
Okay,
which is why But it's like Babelfish was the app.
Babelfish, yeah. It's a great story. It really is a great story. Probably, I'm the same. One of my favorite ones from the scriptures.
Oh my god, I don't think I've read it.
Original. Yeah, and that's why that language app is called Babel.
Babel. Oh my god, because I used to read the Bible as well. I was fascinated
just for fun,
with Latin.
or
just for fun. No, I literally, because I used to try and get out of going to bed, so I would literally read the closest book until my eyes would drop out of my
put you to
skull.
sleep. The Bible is one of the worst written books in history. It's so terrible. It's the sentence structure horrible.
But I like the Latin bits as well, because they would have like some bits in the mine did, and then obviously I had a baby one as well. That was very simple, but when I was like 6 or 7 years old, I used to read the Bible and never came across that story.
Yeah, that's because for the grown-ups, Taryn. That's why.
Yeah,
although I've probably I don't know if I may have butchered it there as well, because I don't really know much about the Bible or that story. But yeah, I find it's kind of interesting. And speaking of religions, I don't know why this is my tangent, but the other language I wanted to shout out was Arabic.
I was going to say Arabic. There's my honorable mention.
Yeah, I had Arabic.
It's the way that Arabic, like an Arabic sentence, is like literally like it's not just like distinguished, like distinctive word to distinctive word. Like the words kind of blend together, like the sentence kind of blends together to create a broader kind of meaning. And and there's so many Arabic words that have like a beautiful double meaning to it. Like the word for friend is the same as truth, for example.
Oh.
And like this little things like that, I find Arabic's just like a really beautiful language.
I nearly actually went Arabic for my pick. So I'm glad you mentioned that as an honorable, because I agree. It's actually a criminally underrated language.
It's almost musical, the way it's kind of spoken and written. Like it's kind of like this musical quality to it. But
I mean, honestly, I reckon we could probably go through and honorably mention pretty much every language as being amazing in some capacity.
Yeah.
Because it's fascinating how we can all, as human beings, communicate with each other in such different ways. And how it came to be that we can speak like this, but then someone on the other side of the world speaks in a completely different way, yet means the same thing. It's fascinating. I love it.
Yeah,
I love languages. I really, it's one of my passions. I love
language.
I love languages. Shut up, Taryn. Shut up. That's what you do.
You're very good at it as well, Liam. You've got this freakish ability just to like remember a word and to pronounce it. Like it's actually quite amazing.
I enjoy trying to make it like sound as authentic as possible. I really do. And I remember when I used to be a travel agent, I used to say the names of the places correctly, and people used to be like, "You some sort of fucking wanker? What are you saying like that for?" I'm like, "That's how they say it. Like, what do you want me to do? Say it like an Aussie? No, I gotta put the respect on that name and say it like
Azalea.
Because I'm so fancy."
No, because you rap in the language that rap is known for being rapped in.
What? I don't get it. I'm sorry.
It's the accent. So Iggy Azalea raps in with a Brooklyn accent or something.
Oh, I see what you
Yeah,
mean. I
she's
see what you mean.
Australian. Anyway, that went well over your head. That's all good. I'm not picking on you. I think that's right as well. I think you should say, I would like croissant, please, with the fromage. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah. Merci beaucoup. Yeah. And this is the thing. Honestly, hot tip for anyone traveling, first thing you should learn, if nothing else, is if you're traveling to a place, learn, do you speak English in their language? And you'll go far, kid. You'll go far.
And excuse me. And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And go fuck
And
yourself, because that's
please.
important as well.
And please. Yeah. And
They
please.
will probably teach you go fuck yourself unbeknownst to you.
And where is
That's
the
true.
toilet?
Yeah.
Shall we rank these?
Oh man, yeah. This is I know we say it's hard a lot of the time, but flipping heck. Like
I think
those
I've got my rank, but unfortunately Rob has to go first.
Rob has to go
Oh
first.
yeah,
It's
go
true.
first. Damn. Damn.
Because you went last, you gotta go first. Them's the
Damn.
rules.
Them's the rules. Oh yeah, guys, listening and
Well,
watching, them's the rules.
That's why I said it.
The
Yep, that's why I said
Them's
it.
the rules.
I am going to rank as such. For number 3, I am gonna go Spanish, Lynn. I am gonna go Spanish just because
enough.
I love Spanish. It's one of the languages I've tried to learn.
I love lab.
I can't roll my R's though, so I feel like it's like a discriminatory language. 'cause I'm like,
Wait, you can't roll your R's.
I can't roll my R's. No.
Roberto can't roll his R's.
I could Roberto. like my tongue meat just fumbles across itself.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
And I'm called Roberto. I kind of rolled Roberto.
Roberto.
For the most part, I find it very hard to roll my R's. But anyway, that's besides the point. But I am going to say it is between a language of love and a language of mathematics. And I'm feeling, maybe I'm feeling a bit, how am I feeling right now? Am I feeling a little bit jaded towards the language of love? So maybe I'm going to take my crusty little black heart and I'm going to put it in a mathematical equation to describe light. And I'm going to go mathematics is number 1, language of love number 2, and Spanish number 3.
Fucking hell, wow. Yeah.
Wait, can you repeat that for me? Maths first.
Maths
first,
1, love 2.
Yeah.
Spanish third.
Because love is just a part of life, whereas mathematics describes it all, right? That's my justification.
And Spanish is just Spanish.
I don't know. It was actually really tough because, like I said, I was going to go the language of love. That was what I was going to go for.
I think,
and yet you didn't put it first. That's what I was going to choose, but I'm going to put mine first anyway.
I liked what I came up with. I like mathematics. I talked myself into mathematics. So I was like, it fucking describes the universe and light, and I'm like, God damn it, that's actually
it doesn't just describe it. Like it is like sequences like Fibonacci sequence is how plants grow. Like that's maths.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's everything.
God damn it.
I'm going to rank quite similarly. I'm going to do the exacts, in fact. I'm going to go maths number 1 because I'm fascinated by maths, physics and mathematics. I was always like that kid in school. Absolutely loved that shit. And I still, like, if I could go back, I'm still thinking about how I can go back and study physics at least to, like, in theory. Because as much as it was part of an engineering degree that I started, I didn't enjoy the part of the degree that was like the rest of engineering subjects. I really enjoyed physics in particular, but I didn't want to be a math teacher or a physics teacher, and science is fascinating, but it's really freaking hard. So like any language, maths is really, really hard, but I had a knack for it. So I love maths. And you're right, you can speak to anyone with it, and people who usually like maths love the theories and the theorems and stuff that you can really get into. And before I go on to a wank fest, I think I'll just move on and say love language is number 2 because it's still really hard for me to understand most of the time, but I really enjoy learning about that sort of thing. And it's a language that you can continuously change and improve upon or get worse at depending on your situation. And Spanish, I've never wanted to learn Spanish, but it's come up a lot for me this year. Like when people around me have said that they're learning it or they want to learn it. I'm more of a French gal and now I'm learning German, but Spanish feels like a must learn somewhere up there because if you know Spanish and like if I know a little bit of French already, I'm probably going to find it a lot more easy to learn languages like Portuguese or, the other languages in that circle.
they definitely all work together like a nice little jigsaw puzzle, just because of the sentence structures and stuff like that.
Italian, like if I'd love to
Italian.
learn like a core language like Spanish that lends itself. So all amazing choices. I really love it.
Well, I guess that leaves me, right?
How do you say yes in Spanish?
Sí.
Sí.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tres. Español. I think Spanish number
Are you
3 because
Bartholomewing yourself?
I am, only because I hate you both and you both had really fucking good answers and it really pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off. Those were fantastic answers. And this was kind of the burden of going first because you guys went rogue straight away. I'm impressed by both of your ability to kind of think of that on the fly. Because my head was just languages that I like.
Yeah. I was thinking, but yeah.
And sometimes when you think outside the box like that, it's fantastic. That's fantastic. Dos. Amar. Yeah, I think that's number 2 for me. I think it was such a good answer. As soon as you started, I was like, oh, I know what this is. But then
you meant Taryn.
You meant well. But then when you described it as well, I was just like, man, that's so good. Such a good answer. But I don't think no, that's fine. That's fine. I don't think it was. I think Rob though did very good. Uno.
Rob had Google at his disposal. Can we just say real quick? Well done for thinking of Googling that.
I was going to go binary, and then I realized halfway through your answer, and I was like, shit, mathematics. So I Googled where was mathematics invented.
Wait, so you were Googling that during Taryn's rank?
No, I was. I just
okay. Number 3 is mathematics. This is not fair.
Mathematics ranked?
Wait a second. Okay. Sorry. I need to take a pause then. I need to rethink this because 2 of us did this on the fly and one of us Googled the answer while the other 2 were talking.
I think we need to put the answer. I Googled where was mathematics invented. That's what I Googled.
In Mathland. Everyone knows that.
I didn't Google best language.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say.
You're welcome to change your rank if you like.
Can I make a decree?
Sure.
For future ranks. No Google.
No Google.
We pay attention to each other's answers. If you don't know it, you don't know it.
I think in the past when we've needed to Google something, it's because we don't know what it means or that we've forgotten the name of it. And then we say, can I just Google that real quick? I think that's cool.
Yeah.
If it's like, can I Google my topic? Nah, bro. Can't do that.
Rob, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. We never set these parameters.
I didn't Google my topic, and I do apologize. But I didn't. I was paying attention to what you were saying, Taryn. Like I literally just Googled where was mathematics invented.
I was like, maybe that's why you didn't rank it high. You didn't hear the rest of it. It was really good.
No. I'll
start again.
It was just one. It was just one snippet. I just Googled one snippet.
Okay, Rob. I'll keep my rank as it is. If you can tell me the name of that mathematician you said during your rank.
Pythagorean.
I asked Rob to see if he could remember from but Taryn's just given it to you.
That's why.
Sorry.
I want to shout out because as we were talking, but I was wondering, is music a language? Is dance? I was thinking like when you come together.
I haven't finished my rank yet. I haven't finished my rank.
Yeah, Liam's still going. Hold on.
I haven't finished my rank yet. I was still contemplating whether I should put you number 1, but I will. I will this time because I think it was a very good answer. Uno, matemáticas. Number 1. That's what it is. Well done, everybody, for your great ranks. Rob, sorry, please proceed.
I was just going to say, like, other shared language, like, is dance and music a shared language?
Yeah, dance is like one of the oldest languages in the books, right? Like, it's, yeah.
Isn't it wonderful when you get a bunch of people coming together and you just dance? You just like, there's just like the beat just starts playing out, and you just like you're sharing that moment. It doesn't matter if you don't actually speak, you know. You can say if you don't share the spoken language,
or if you're not very good at speaking that language either.
Yeah, I feel like the emotion that it evokes means that it's clearly speaking to your heart and your souls, like music. Yeah.
Oh, guys, I'm gosh darn impressed.
Yeah.
And Rob, I heard you say music in there as well. Definite language, because you got to learn how to write and understand and read it and then speak it through instruments.
You can feel it. Yeah.
Feel it as well. Another great honorable mention. But man, I was not expecting to get like that. I was thinking that we were going to choose just like French or some shit. And you guys.
Do you know what? When I first thought of it, I was going to choose French. And then I was like, basic, bitch. And you're like, Spanish. I was like, he's taking the basic from me. I don't need to do it. It's fine.
Oh my word!
Do you know that in France they've got a group of
Wow.
people? There's a
Unbelievable.
committee. There's a
Oh
committee
yeah,
in France that they're responsible for the French language.
really?
So they're responsible to hold things in the French language, or to change the French language, or to include, or to defend.
It's
But
such a
there's actually a
European thing.
group of people. There's like a living group
Uh-huh.
that they obviously they've rotated members for hundreds of years, and their job is to protect the French language and to maintain the French language, and it's a formal thing. So that's what you. So you can't actually change it unless they say, you know what, now we're going to just add, the circumflex. The circumflex
See,
is now optional. For example, we've decided
I,
the
I,
circumflex is now optional.
I'll tell you this though. That's just why I kind of like the Australian language, because we can bastardize English as much as we want, and we just get away with it. We
It's
can
such
change a whim. We can change what we want to do. It doesn't matter. There's no committee telling us what we can't do.
That's the thing. It is a committee, a French word. Like, it's very French to say, there's rules.
Well, there's the thing. English is borrowing a lot of words from a lot of languages. So
It does,
I'm
and it's
kind of
tricky as shit.
It is. And if there's one thing
It's-
I've learned from learning a language, is that the rules are meant to be broken.
Yeah.
That's
There's always there's always an exception to every bloody rule, isn't there?
You got to. It's like it doesn't matter. I was going to go on another tangent, but we simply can't. We've done an excellent episode. We need no more tangents. We fucking nailed that. That was fucking amazing.
Go team.
That was amazing. So let's do it. 3-1. Get it done. We'll go around the horn. Number 3, Espanol. Number 2,
language of love.
And number 1,
the language of mathematics. Pythagoreans.
Mathematics. There we go. Guys, fantastic. What an episode.
We nailed it.
I love it when a plan comes together. It's fantastic. It wasn't even planned. It's even better.
We used our words well in that episode.
We did. We spoke clearly and with intention, which was great.
And with that, it brings us to the most important part of the episode, the final thought. Who has a final thought for tonight?
When this is our unwritten language, right? So when you throw the final thought out there, I'll wait. And when the pause is long enough, I'll know that I'll come up with a final thought. Because if you jump in that pause, and you jump in. Do you know what I mean? That's how.
Yep, perfect. I mean, it happened a couple of weeks ago with the music. We paused. I just jumped in. Doesn't happen often.
Exactly.
When it does, I swear a lot. Rob, what is your final thought?
My final thought is, Liam, is that language is the tapestry of everything. Language is how we love, it's how we hate, it's how we ultimately come together. Sometimes there's rules, sometimes there's things that are learnt, and sometimes there's things that are just observed and understood through more than just words. So language is life, and language is love. And that's my final thought.
Amazing as always. What'd you like?
I like a little bit cheesy at the end. I feel like a little bit cheesy at the end there, but
we need a little bit of fromage on the top.
Sometimes you need some fromage on top.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Sometimes you need some words of affirmation. Thank you.